What is going on, everybody? Your McLaren Speed Shop World Champion coming at you with a new budget video. This one, the cheapest put together by far. It's depending on shipping and everything, you get this deck right around 25 bucks. Like the entire thing on your screen right now, $25, which is nutty. Because with this deck, I know Betty is it's very straightforward, kind of one-trick deck, and how it works is if basically it's very easy to know if you're going to win or lose against Betty, because you know what to expect. If you're able to get out enough characters with Betty, then you're going to win. If not, then you'll lose. It's just straight up like that, and you kind of got to play fast with this deck. Anybody that can stall you out and drain your hand, you'll lose, because you have to discard a card to activate your ability. So that's already playing down. And then the fact that you got to play out the cards too gets your hand pretty low, and you can get yourself into some tough spots. But break down the deck really quick. The biggest thing you guys will see on the deck is the yellow cards. I don't have like Sanji and stuff in here because those cards are very expensive. Like Sanji, the blocker Sanji is like 10 bucks for one, and then the Cracker is like $15 for one. And honestly, like those cards are better. But the only reason the yellow cards are in this deck is because of the trigger. And if it wasn't for that, then they wouldn't be in the deck, like, at all. Because to beat the top tier opponents, like to be able to beat like a Sakazuki and stuff with Betty, you have to get the life triggers. And honestly, any kind of yellow card works that has the trigger on it. I put a Wimpy Hoshi in here just because they're, again, cheaper than Cracker Sanji, but you can switch out either of these two, I'd say, with any yellow card that has a trigger that lets you play. But I just put this in here just because you get the drawing, and I feel like that can help you out because you get to draw 3 and then discard 2. So if you're low on Revo cards to be able to discard with a Betty, you could ideally get this as a trigger, and then it might be able to bail you out. But besides that, everyone else in here maxed out all the trigger stuff. I have a couple Fire Fist just for help you out to maybe tank out bigger characters with dropping this, but it also has all the trigger stuff with this as well, so you can summon. But however, your main cards, what you're looking for is Ivankov and Karasu. Karasu's like super strong in this deck. It's a huge threat. If your opponent is not able to deal with this card, they will lose, just because on play you get to -1000 or something, and then when attacking you get to -1000 with this guy. So this is always the card that your opponent has to get rid of, or you can overwhelm them. And Ivankov's the other staple, because Ivankov lets you summon. So for 4, you basically get to summon another card from your hand as you drop it, and then if you're able to build on that, you go from there. I only have 2 koalas in here just because for some reason this card was more expensive than all the rest of the Revolutionary Army cards. I guess just because it's a 2K. But besides that, not exactly sure, because it's only usable if you're got a Revolutionary Army leader. Its ability only works with the Revo Army. And then Inazuma here, you could honestly boost any of these cards. You between Joe, Kuma, Koala, and Inazuma, you can play around with the numbers if you want. I just settled with this just because of I like Kuma because you get the trigger and to bring in, and the on-play ability lets you just get, especially early game, you can pop their search, or if they have any low-cost blockers, go from there. And then Search Betty is what you're looking for in the beginning. You just want this. If you don't have at least Ivankov or Karasu, or both, you want Betty just because it helps out. And you can play super aggro with this card as well. If you go first, you can drop this, search whatever, and then your next turn, on turn 2, if you're feeling it, you can discard a card, get Betty to 5,000, then you can attack him twice for 5,000. But that's the super aggro play. If not, you just kind of play normal from there and just kind of build up your character, so that way you can just sweep them in one turn. But yeah, deck is super, super cheap. The cheapest one I've made so far, $25 total with the shipping and everything as of the recording of this video. But yeah, depending on your budget and stuff, feel free to adjust. And I think this is it's a very fun deck to use. It's not, obviously not the best of the best, just because the top decks right now are just a perfect counter for Betty. If you play against Sakazuki or RP Law, they can just remove your stuff before you can even do anything with it. So that's the disadvantages right now. It's just that the top decks in the game are just like the perfect counter to this deck, but you can still beat them. You can still beat anyone again, especially with if you get any of these cards at the bottom here, right here, any of these cards you hit life trigger, especially early, you can beat anybody, because once if you're able to outnumber them and get the board on your side kind of flooded out to 3-4 characters, there's not much that your opponent can do, because you're going to be swinging like 8k attacks, and then depending on like the abilities and stuff as well, like there's not a whole lot your opponent can do to withstand a couple, like 2 turns of just a relentless 8k attacks coming at them, or more depending on your Don, especially like late game and stuff. But yeah, wanted to put together another cheap budget deck because again, help expand the game to new players, just because the top decks and some of the top cards in this game are ridiculously expensive, and being able to give anyone options, especially with like, this is all new cards too. Basically everything in here is from the newest set, the 5th set, except for these 2, but you can switch these out if you want. Everything else is from the 5th set, so give you something to look forward to. And then especially too, in the future, with the 6th set coming, and with the, I think it's the 3 brothers captain, like, yeah, 3 brothers starter deck. There's going to be more Revolutionary Army cards in that, so you'll be able to play around with that as well in the future with the yellows and stuff like that. But yeah, wanted to put something together just because, again, a lot of the like, it's crazy because a lot of the top cards you can get are more expensive than this entire deck, like on your screen right now. Like a lot of the cards that are just like tons of money. It's crazy. You could literally just get, if you got lucky, you bought 1 pack and get lucky with the 1 card in it, you'd have more than this entire deck. It's only, again, 25 bucks. But very straightforward, very fun deck to use. Great deck if you're getting into One Piece and looking for like an entry point, I think, is because it's just like, it's fun. You don't have to worry about like too much stuff. All your main goal is just to lay out characters, discard a card, and then just blast your opponent, and then that's it. That's all you kind of got to worry about. You don't have to worry too much playing like tactically or defense, because your offense is your defense. Again, you're able to, if you're able to flood the board out, and then if your opponent does not get rid of your characters, then you straight up, you win. Like if they prioritize, especially if they prioritize attacking you instead of your characters, you can beat anyone. But yeah, it's a good deck to mess around with. It's got some good little staple cards. You can hit fun combos, little chains and stuff. Again, it all relies on getting the trigger out of your life mostly. If you're able to hit, I'd say if you're able to hit at least 2, then you can beat anybody. Like straight up, any deck you can beat if you're able to hit at least 2 triggers out of your life. It doesn't matter who they are, especially early game. If you're able to get like back-to-back life triggers, then you're looking great. But if not, and then especially against the removal decks, you're probably not going to win just because this deck just isn't there. But yeah, putting all these in, other cool things too. The reason I've got Moscato in here, you put a dot on him, you can gain banish. So that way, if then you're attacking 8k, and if your opponent doesn't block, you just banish their life, and they don't get to add it to their hand. It just goes straight to the trash. And this card is super cheap; it's only like 2 cents. But feel free, again, Wimpy Hoshi or Moscato, you can easily replace them with any other cards that have a trigger if you want to. These are, and then you can play around with the numbers of it. You get rid of Fire Fist if you want, boost another Bunny Joe, and an Inazuma or like Koala as well. It's totally up to you. The rest of the cards, though, you do need 4 Ivankov, 4 Karasu, 4 Bettys, and 4 of these, and then the rest of everything else to play around. Well, I would say get 4 Kumas, though, as well, just because of the trigger. You don't have to discard a card to get him. And then your next turn, after you use your abilities, is going to be at 5k. And the on-play lets you KO like 2,000 or less, so any kind of low-tier blockers are gone. Just on-play with this guy, which is pretty cool. But yeah, there you go. Let's jump into some games now with Betty, and I'll show you how to pull things off with an insanely cheap deck. All right, here we go. We got Betty v. Betty. So we can try this stuff out. Let's grab Karasu. And this will be an interesting one. It'll just depend on, it literally just depends who's got what and who can kind of, we're just going to be like trading out here. Okay, they're running the search. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Just attack them one time. Alright. I'm actually fine with that. Just because this is going to be a game of whoever gets the life triggers at the right time wins. So they trash a card to grab Morley. Okay. Got Ivankov. So they're going to trash another card. Alright. So, 5 on 5. Dang. I was really hoping for... use this, and we'll trash that guy. Alrighty. So, it can't activate a blocker. It doesn't really matter in this situation here. So, where am I at? 5. I'll probably do this, get rid of theirs. That leaves me with 3. They only have 2 cards, so I don't really need to risk burning something else. Because how it's going to go is we got to like trade out here. So let me attack them first. Alright, we don't get a trigger there, which is fine. Then I'll attack them one more time. Alright, we don't get a trigger there. Then I'll deploy this guy and we'll call it good. So we're going to even it up 2-2. And now... get it so if they attack with these ones. So using this, we got this guy in here, so just for the 2k. So we have 2 2ks of our own, which is pretty gonna be big here for us to ideally get them out. Alright, so they can attack, what, 4? So, 6 on 4. Probably should block this one, yeah, because what, they can attack that 1, 2, 3, and then I can do that. And this one be guaranteed. So no blocker, this, and this. And now we're chilling. So 7 on 4. Dang. Alright. Need this last one to be a trigger and we're good. Seven on 4 again. We'll just do that. I forgot they're boosted so we can't get them out. But for next turn, they'll be pretty big. 8 on 5. Yeah, I don't think so, pal. So, draw dawn. Now we have 7. How do we want to go about this? So if I dropped one of these guys, minus them down, we may be able to win. Alright. Trash one. Let's go 1, 2, 3. So we got all these 5s and an 8. If I do, I could do a bunch of 7s. So yeah, let's try that first. 7 on 5. Alright, attack him again, 7 on 5. Okay, I mean, I'll attack them 5 on 5. And then they straight up can't block this. There we go. There's one in the mirror with a little bit cheaper deck than these guys. I don't know what else is in their deck, but they have this, so probably a little bit, but another W with the $25 Betty deck. Which, I mean, depending on shipping or your local card shop, again, on TCG, this entire deck I have together is $15, and then it's $10 shipping, like for the shipping of all of it. But this is nuts. It's pretty. Again, like the yellow cards, even though there are better ones to use that are like way better, like you only have the yellow cards in this deck to get the trigger. So I feel like any yellow you can go with, because yeah, sure, the Blacker Sanji's great, but Blacker Sanji isn't really gonna win or lose you the game, just because of how this deck operates. Because you're not really going off, and you don't really need blockers with the Betty deck, because your blockers are your cards out here. Like if your opponent does not take care of the field, then they lose. So that's why you don't really need blockers, I feel like, in Betty that much. But obviously, though, against the removal decks like Sakazuki and RP Law, it is very hard to win with Betty, just because they can remove like everything, because your characters are not very high. But yeah, another W in the mirror this time, and we'll keep rolling. All right, here we go against Law. So we gotta keep this just because we have this combo, and just to be able to do something. But in this matchup, I think if we had Betty, things would be pretty solid. So I might drop this guy just to get them to use some beta, try to draw out their stuff early. Because they'd have to drop like an Otama or a Gordon to get rid of him. So maybe let's just attack one. Okay. So we'll drop this guy, and then I want them to waste their removal. Oh, okay, they drop Ain. Interesting. I was not expecting that. Okay, I mean, I can now get 2 out, and then we can just kind of body slam them. Very interesting play out of them. I was not expecting that. Play this. I will trash. I'm gonna get rid of right now. We'll keep this so we can hit this combo. I'll get rid of Bunny Joe. Do this. Put that on them. And then I can attack them 8 on 4. Attack them again 6 on 4. And then we'll put them in a interesting little spot here. So they can only get rid of 1. And if they attack this guy, okay. Doing Kid Blocker. 5 on 5. That's fine, because I want them to attack me. Because if they attack me, we get a life trigger, then we're golden. I don't know who they're bringing in, though. They have 4. They can't bring in Penguin to get the boost. They have to bring in Beppo. But we'll see. Okay, they're bringing in Zoro. I'm actually okay with this. Bang. Alright, we get 1. And now we're chilling. So 7 on 5. Okay. This is actually fantastic for us. It honestly couldn't have gone any better. So where am I sitting at? Do I want to... I could discard this, boost them all up, literally wipe their field. Or, let's see, deploy this. Dang, I was hoping to get Inuzama, but actually this works too. So, trash 1, 1, 2, 3. So who do I want to drop this on? Him, probably. Select the target. So minus 1,000 on that guy. Then I have all of this as well. So we can just do... What is this? 3,000 power less, don't have to worry about that. I'm trying to think of what a... So we'll attack this. I don't have anybody. 8 on 5. Attack another 8 on 5. Alright. Attack them 8 on 5. Then we'll attack them again 8 on 5. Alright, interesting play out of them. This is if they can't get like a bunch of blockers up, they're gonna be in a bit of a situation here. But we'll see. I still also have to get another Revo card to discard, because I only have this. But whoever they attack, if they attack one of these two, I'm keeping them alive. Because again, I'm going to have 9 Don. So even with that, we'll have a ton. So they're going Queen. We'll see. You can only power move 1. And then you'd have to get out like another blocker. Alright. Another Karasu. Actually kind of nuts. But if I discard this, I can get 5,000, 5,000, 8,000, and then we can just wail on them, which I think is probably the move. We'll just do that. And then 7 on 5. Okay. 7 on 5. Dang. Okay. 8 on 5. Alrighty. Attack him 8 on 5 again. Alright. I'll attack him 7 on 5. Okay, well, we burnt through the entire hand. We still have 2 life. There's literally nothing they can do. Yeah. So, delaying the inevitable there, but there you go. There's beating RP Law with this deck just because, well, they were playing a little silly and not respecting the life triggers that If you're RP Law and you don't respect the life triggers, you're going to lose to Betty. Because again, once you get out, they only can cost remove once a turn. So once you get out in front of that, there's not much they can do. And yeah, beating a deck that, like, RP Law shouldn't lose to Betty. But if your opponent is RP Law and they don't know how to play against Betty, you can easily beat them. Like, that's the thing with Betty. If your opponent doesn't know like how this deck works, you can beat them. Just the problem is if your opponent does know how this deck works, you straight up probably you can't beat them unless you get some good life triggers. But yeah, we'll take that. And it's super satisfying because, again, this deck cost, let's see what cards they have in here. Literally less than this, like this one queen. Our entire deck is $10 cheaper than this one queen card, which is nuts. And we beat a deck like that. That's what I like. That's what I like to pull off. All right, we're going into the fire against the Sakazuki. We'll see what we can do here. So deploy that. Can't grab. Well, it's the only card we can grab, unfortunately. So we'll see what we can do. This is gonna be a tough matchup. We can win this matchup. So they drop their 10s on in the bucket there, but yeah, no, we can win this matchup if we get out. We basically need to hit a life trigger if we're gonna pull this off. So 2,000 or less. What I'm going to do is I'll trash. Probably trash Kuma. Guess I need to be able to pump out at least 2 and go from there. Well, actually, this next turn will be at 5. Well, I need to hit this to get somebody out. So we'll see. So attack him. Alright. Then we'll attack him again. Basically what I'm going to do, they'll know I have this card. And, well, if they only attack with 5, I can do this, bring them out, and then I can sack one of our yellows here to keep this card up. The only issue is everything after that. Alright. Okay, they don't attack, which is fine. So I get another Kuma. I can now drop Kuma and just get rid of this. So Kuma, Blaster Mancherry, out the airlock. That then gives me 3. Which, I mean, I keep the pressure going again here. But it put me in a tough spot. I think we go for it. There we go. Because at the very least, I can try to get them to burn stuff out of their hand. They know I have this, so at some point they have to attack. But I assume they're just like saving up. Alright, so we get them down to 2, which is okay. But basically, yeah, if we hit some life triggers, we're golden in this matchup. If you don't, you're probably going to lose. Just because all of our stuff is pretty low, and we don't really have the stuff to be able to kind of keep up. So they got the 4. If they drop Rob, they can get rid of both of these. Alright, I'm fine with that. Alright, they're still not attacking, which is okay, because if they're not going to attack, I'm trying to think what I can do here. I could throw out a bait card to get him to waste some stuff next turn. And then I still have this. But, I mean, actually, I don't know. I'm just going to do this. Attack him 9 on 5. So we got a life lead here. And again, I just need to hit one trigger, and we'll be okay. If they're not going to attack us, then we'll play slow as well. Because again, any kind of life trigger we get basically will win us the game. They're going to have to put up some blockers. So I have 8. I mean, they could put up 2. Like Borsellino and somebody, so. Dang it. Alright, well, that didn't work. Okay, 5 on 5. It's a better time. Well, if I do this, he'll definitely be able to get rid of this guy. I feel like we should. But let's bring out a... Let's do something silly, though. Bring out a blocker. Because if I get him waste his cost removal on this, then he won't be able to use it on this. That's at least my my thinking. And if he doesn't get rid of this guy, I can still use our ability next turn and boost him, so... We will see. Alright, well, there goes that, so that's fine. But they used Hound Blaze but didn't boost somebody? Alright, interesting. So draw a card, draw a Dawn. So we have this again. So what do I need to do here? Need to get rid of Rob or this guy. And then we have this to block. I have this to block. You can take 3. Well, if I just attack them, get rid of this, they could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I would have to have enough here for 5. So 1, 2, 3. Basically, if I do this, attack Rob. Actually, no, let's put out... I think I should put out this guy and this guy. That's 7. No, that's too much. I gotta do 6. Well, I should do this and this. So that's 5. Oh, okay, they quit. Alright, well, I don't know how that would have went, but they got disconnected, so we'll try to find another one. Basically, though, again, I would have put this guy and Kuma out just for kind of bait, so that would have been 5, and then would have attacked. Well, maybe. No, I think I should have put 1 out, and probably put this guy out for 3. And then I'd use 3 on us to attack Rob, and then either get rid of Rob or get rid of Borsellino. And then next turn, we can block 1 with this and attack with this. It would just come down to if all we needed to get was the life trigger, any of our life trigger characters, and we probably would have got them. But we'll never know. The mystery will remain. So you get to imagine the W or the L is up to you. Alright, we're giving Enel a shot here. Alright, we do not get what we're looking for at all. We really need our search to be able to pull this one out, but we'll see. So they got Shura, but they draw Rush Enel. Alright, it's good to know for later. It's not like we can do anything about it, but you never know. Alright, these yellow cards, not ideal. So I'll attack them 6 on 5. Take 1. Well, that's already not great for us. They get the Sanji trigger right off the rip. So attacking us. Okay, luckily we get a trigger as well, so I can discard this. And this guy's cool because of Banish, which is like kind of nice in this. But we'll see. See what we can pull off. Alright, draw a card, draw a Don. Why am I getting so many yellow? A little bit annoying, but it is what it is. Get rid of this and go 1, 2, 3. So now we're at 5, 7, 7, and I have 2 left. So we can go for some attacks here on them. So let's lead off with a 7. Alright, we get 1. Then we can lead off with 7 from me. Okay, I was not expecting that. Okay, now I'm definitely attacking with this guy. Wait. Oh, I didn't put a Don on him. Oh, I'm dumb. Oh my god. That was so silly of me. Okay, 4 and 4. This guy's at 6,000. Man, I had the play lined up. That would have been sick. 9 on 4. Alright, nothing we can do about that. And then attack 8 on 4. Alright, nothing we can do about that either. Draw a card, draw a Don. I have 7. This guy's at 6. I would have to do this. Unless... Well, then I have to put 4. That's not enough. Because this guy's 5. So I think this is our best move. Attack him 9 on 6. Alright, then we gotta try to survive one more turn here. So they're gonna be at 8. I know they have the Rush Enel. But if we can survive this turn with our characters, then it's a maybe. But ideally, this if he attacks our life, if I can get we get a life trigger here, that'd be pretty cool. And we do. We'll take that. So leave it 7 for Rush Enel. Now I'm in a situation where I need if they drop Rush Enel and attack us, we gotta draw a Revo card. Trash top life or grant opponent a life. Alright, well, they weren't attacking anyways. Alright, nice. And so 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. So they're at 8, they're at 8. It's just time to smack them. So 9 on 5. Okay. Attack him again, 9 on 5. Man. Ain't that annoying? 9 and 5. Never mind, we still got him. Let's go. Okay, massive. There we go. They had all of these, so yeah, next turn would have been not great. They would have dropped Yamato. Well, they couldn't have got rid of anyone, then attacked who would have been able to save this guy, though. So I think we were okay regardless, but that's a massive W. That feels super satisfying because I just like playing NL so much because I was just so worried. Again, their life triggers. They got one of them that after they got this, I thought they had it, but luckily they did not. And we got bailed out there. This, all their cards, no counters again. The only benefit, like late game, they're sort of like if you can get them down fast. A bunch of all their heavy hitters don't have counter, so that's like if you're able to get them down to 1 life turn 4, and then turn 4 you have or turn 5 you have a chance. But it would have just kind of depended on a lot of stuff. Luckily, we drew a Rebel card, and we're able to make it almost like guaranteed. But yeah, there is beating one of the top decks with a deck that costs $25 or less, depending on the shipping. Again, on TCG, the whole thing, the cards that I'm using in this deck, $15 and then $10 shipping. So, pretty sick. Not gonna lie, this is pretty fun. And yeah, beat NL. Very satisfying anytime you can beat NL with any deck, but beating it with this deck means a lot. And yeah, being able to do another kind of cheap deck again. Like to do what I can to help out people that are new, because One Piece is kind of gaining popularity and stuff, but things I don't like is just how expensive some of the cards are. And for the top deck, like this card, this Katakuri card is insane. I don't know if it's gone up, but last time I checked, it was still like, it was well over $50, I'm pretty sure. But it's like insane, like the prices of some of these cards. Like, it's just absolutely wild. Alright, never mind. It's at $70 right now. That's nuts. You could buy almost this deck 3 times that are put together with just one of these. That's wild. And, like, all of these cards are pretty pricey. Like, Yamato's going up a little bit, too. I expect this to go up a lot, because especially in the next set, be a pretty important card. But, yeah. That's pretty fun, pretty cool beating NL, and yeah, again, super cheap deck, the cheapest one we've put together so far, and it's all with the new stuff basically, except for like what's the set of this? Except for a couple cards, but everything else is from the 5th set, and very fun, very satisfying to win, and I'll see you guys in the next one.